Hello and welcome to a video. Well, I sound really fucking excited for this, don't I? Actually, gotta turn that off. Sorry if the fan was annoying you, I've just turned it off now. I'm going to be trying to drive arguably one of, if the most vigorous cars in this game, but in F1 2020 at Monaco in wet weather. So if you don't know, this car has big power and stupid amount of turbo lag, so that's not fun. In wet weather it's worse, and on a road circuit it's awful, because even in third, if I floor it, it just starts sliding. But since I am fully sick, hectic, I can't say that word, I can still control it. Doesn't mean I should be spinning due to the fact that well, it's worse grip. But yeah. So I'm just gonna do a cruise around the track just so that I can get a nice, nice feel for the car and the weather. Doing nice little drips in a multi-million-dollar F1 car. Jeez. I'm not really caring much about times, to be honest. I'm just trying to make sure I can, not die. So I'm gonna gradually, lap by lap, hope that I get a faster lap time. Whoa, those curbs, I thought just slammed. I think it might have been mine. Anyway. Yeah. Look at me being a law-abiding citizen. Oh my goodness, the clutch really doesn't let off until like really low. So I'm gonna purposefully try to drift like most corners this lap, just to see like what in terms of like limits are in terms of throttle input, and like how I'd be able to control it. Okay, wow, so you saw second gear and it slid pretty heavy, which means obviously, well, I can't carry too much around there. So that corner's not too bad. This one it's a bit weird because of how the road, is. That one's not too bad. Will I even be able to drift this one? I put too much throttle into that. Well, I mean, I did go flat, so yeah, I mean, it only makes enough sense. Yeah. My brother thinks he's funny. He finds screen recording, mate. Through a microphone, how am I talking? You're funny. Yes, mate, we've got one off. Probably can. My brother's proper comedy. Mind you as well, I'm doing this in a low gear. So imagine driving this thing. Now, if you don't know, Australian roads are dodgy. And when I say they're dodgy, I mean as in, Lord save anyone who drives like a small car in wet weather that has more than like 20 horsepower. It ain't ending well. I'm gonna lock in for my first lap. But I can hear the turbos, man. Sounds like a typical Need for Speed nitrous sound. And I spun it. That should be good. So I'm trying to let off the clutch nice and slow, but it won't let me. You look like someone with friggin' dementia or something. I don't mean that to anyone but my brother, by the way. God damn. I reckon we restart the lap. I reckon the wind. Yeah.
The time last lap was a 2:39.0.
Ooh. 2:39. That's devastating. Oh, I'm on the wet, I'm on the wet, I'm on the wet. No wonder it's a red sector. I mean, do you blame? I'm putting maybe 40% throttle. Using doing that. I mean, even Senna, I think when he drove this thing, typically had it in a high gear, even in the dry. Oh god, oh god. Yep, I knew that there'd be a lock-up. By the skin of my testes. I'm in second. Okay, I should be okay. Saying that this thing probably has enough torque to spin the wheels at idle in the wet. you know what? The people that want to see me drive this thing genuinely good, in wet weather, I'm sorry, but we're stopping that. I haven't touched any wall. Anyway, because I find, it funner, I'm gonna drift my, my F1 car. Well, it's not really mine, but, you know. I find it funner. Wait, I wanna test something. I'm in 6th. That's the highest gear in this thing. Hang on. Okay. Sorry, my ear was itchy. 6th gear. If I floor it, and I let off the clutch, let's see what happens. I'm spinning in a gear that reaches just about 300. What's that? 4th gear maybe for this? Whoa. That's a corner I want to get down though. 3rd gear I reckon for here. Could have probably held that a bit better, but yeah, 2nd for here. Usually for drifting cars like this, because you want to be taking advice from someone that just did that. Anyway, drifting an F1 car like this, basically, hang on, let me just lock in for a minute. Basically want to be 1 gear lower than you would typically be for that weather. Since I'm in wet, just because it's easier to just get the tyres going. Here I'd probably be 2nd as well. I'd actually, yeah, like here I'd be 2nd, I've gone to 1st. Goes perfectly. The thing is as well, there's a lot of clutch work to it because since the turbos go to such high amounts, like high amounts of pressure, they're usually engaged. Oh, that was, yeah, I was gonna say that was probably too quick, because again, you still got downforce. Just because you're sliding doesn't mean you get the, you know, benefits of downforce. But yeah, basically, all you need to know is just 1 gear lower, and try doing it in wet weather because it allows you to slip a little bit easier. If I was saying, Jonathan, what if you want to take a corner in 1st? What if you need to take a corner in 1st? Like, usually, and then, you know, you want to drift that corner. What I would say is have a quick blip in 1st, off throttle, instantly. Basically all you're doing is this. Hang on. Just that little thing. That. And then off throttle and let the car like glide along the corner. Usually it sort of does it itself. I'm gonna try 4th gear and I'm gonna see if I can do this. Oh, nearly got that. But yeah, if you hear my revs go down like this, that's because I'm literally just popping the clutch. As I was saying, there's a lot of clutch work to this, because the turbos hang around for a while after you let off throttle, so don't I look like a dumbass trying to think I can connect 2 drifts. Anyway. Yeah, it's just mainly for every corner, it's like a decent blip like this. Just getting it to max RPM and then letting off, correcting it as once you've let off, and then doing your little fine adjustments here and there. I mean, hypothetically speaking, I did that, you know? Technically, I've given a new definition of Formula Drift. If you do want to do drifting in an F1 car, I do recommend Monaco, because it just is a good track due to the fact that the roads aren't too grippy, and especially with a car like this, because you know, as someone who is like comparably to people I know, that's not really saying much, but comparatively to people I know, I'm good at drifting. Let me just pop in the sick. Give this poor bloody engine a break. Okay, it was too much of a blip. Let's try to get this corner down. Imagine the freaking spray that I just did there. Okay, yeah, too much of a kick. Fourth, I do think is the gear for that though. And third, I do reckon is the gear for this. Yeah, but since, as an example with the turbo era, the 80s, since, well, you're pushing, bro, what is happening? Since you're pushing so much power, everything, you didn't really care if the engine was heavy. It just needed to be reliable enough to set, you know, a race. I nearly did it that time. I mean, if you consider that bit of a, you know. Although if you think that I'm gonna drift this, you're funnier than friggin' what's his name? Than Ricky Gervais. I'm in neutral, yep. I enjoy that corner a lot. By the way, if you are asking if I'm doing any brake work, like if I'm using the brake at all, not really. I'm mainly using the clutch to prevent the car from turning too much. Obviously, if the car has too much inertia going into the corner, it's still gonna do it. It can only help so much. Like if I like that, I use the clutch towards the end, just in case of a spin out. I didn't really need it, but you'll know when I did because you saw the car straighten up like straight away. Yeah, like see, I even put in the clutch and it just had too much inertia. You know what though? I reckon for that corner, that's probably as good as I could do. Wait, since when? Since 1929. Oh, there I am up on the screen. Oh my god, that's a Ford Transit van. Imagine you go to a Formula Drift event and you just see this thing like ripping skids like along a track. Hello, men. Yeah, I'm doing a great job right now. Anyway. Imagine you see this thing just... I was in the dry section, by the way. Fourth gear was still dying. You know what? I've had fun with this car, but I'm going to try a different car. I'm going to try a different car. I'm in the MP4-5B. You're probably saying, why? Well, I just want to see what is better drifting, because this music, man. The MP4-4 was V6 turbo. This is a V10. By the way, just so you know, I haven't touched anything in terms of, like, you know, just bits and pieces, like, you know, doing tuning and whatnot. I love the way this thing sounds. Whoa. It has like a hint of V8 grunt. Right. Yeah, should be good. Yeah, I feel like it's got like a bit of V8 grunt behind it. I was being very careful on that corner, so... I just realised this thing's going to sound like when Fernando Alonso got to test out like the new Renault engine on that one car. And just... That's what it was doing with the little hand trigger. I don't even know what I should do, because this thing does have a higher RPM. I think it revs like... I think it revs 1,500-ish RPM higher than the thing. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's sick. Here's a bloody 10 million point turn. That ties it in the wet. Okay. Oh my god. That can be a tunnel drift there. I'm not doing any better than that. Okay. I still think that the 4's better and not the 5B, due to the fact that the 5B, I think, doesn't have that same steering angle as the 4. And the thing with that the 4 is as well is that the turbo needs to load. This thing just gets its torque instantly. So it's a lot harder to drift than the 4. Zepta. Vector. What is it? Speed and magnitude or something like that. See, like, I'll put in probably the same amount of throttle as the MP4. Sorry, the MP4, 4. And, yeah. Now thinking about Fernando, I want to give it a try, due to the fact that saying that this car has a lot more downforce, and it also doesn't have a manually engaging clutch. Well, obviously you can still manually engage it, but it's like on or off. Okay, instantly I feel like this car's stuck in more of the floor. Let's give it a try. Alright, a little bit. It was a little bit. Look how fast it catches up to the other car's times. Does this thing have like traction control on it or something? I mean, it's still kicking. I think it's got traction control. Like, it's not good enough to like break traction total, but it's still, you know. I mean, saying that, I don't even think I can turn off traction control for this thing. I'm sorry if I can, but yeah. I don't know. You know what? Good idea. The line is not optimal. Let me do my own thing. Da, 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 da. The line's not optimal, Will. Let me do my own thing. Alright, yeah, I'll be honest, I don't think many people would make it up to this point. So I'm gonna call it there. This has been, Jonathan with Formula Drift. I hope you've enjoyed as much as I have not, enjoyed this. Actually, I have enjoyed this. Spin this thing sideways is so much fun. The line is not optimal, yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed as much as I've enjoyed taking this thing sideways around Monaco and backways around Monaco. No, I don't edit my videos. I show all the donkeys think, oh, my brother just landed a body flipper back in 2014. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, I hope you have a great day, night, sleep, whatever, and, I don't know, don't crash your car.